What does ADP know that you don't know? Well, going through their Q4 earnings report, we found something that you might find interesting, but we'll get to that in a minute. First, we need to explain how we got to all this.
If you were looking to invest in a company to share in those profits, would you want to see something in the news every single week that's dramatic or sensational? If you said yes, what the F is wrong with you? I said F. F is not a swear word. Why won't it let me say F? Is not a bad word, but I'm not able to say F.
Loser. Don't mess with the guy who edits the videos. I don't know. Move on. For us, no. We have kids, we do YouTube, Tom runs his own company, and we lose enough sleep as it is. Just because we're relatively good at picking stocks doesn't mean the rest of our life choices are great.
Enter ADP, the unsensational, boring, lackluster, but profitable world of PEO and HR. We like to keep tabs on companies that we have holdings in through our partners Seeking Alpha, that link is down below, for buy or sell decisions. And this time around, we didn't find a whole lot bad that they had to say about ADP. For the stock market, that's exceptionally rare and good.
But it seems ADP knows something you don't. Everywhere you turn, there's news of a recession coming, bubbles bursting, and massive layoffs that seem to confirm the recession hypothesis.
Do we care? No. We're capitalist pigs.
I'm a Titanian. My tricks don't work on me. Only money.
ADP centers its business around payroll, HR, and data collection. Some of this profit comes from change of employment status fees and reporting to the government. So in essence, when the economy's bad, ADP makes money. And when the economy's good, ADP makes money.
Basically, if management doesn't mess it up, ADP makes money. This has worked so well that ADP has increased its dividend for 49 consecutive years. That is what we like to see in stocks. In addition, they are the 500-pound gorilla in the space, and they're uniquely positioned to benefit from the advent of AI. How do we know this? Oh, we've got decades of experience in the tech field, and take a look at this.
In 2024, ADP still has a dominant position in the market for payroll processing and has a leadership position in the market for human capital management software.
Human capital. Well, we're not cattle, these are people. So to find out if ADP would be a good purchase in this monthly stock pick, we need to go through the financial report that they just published. And if you're finding value in this video and the information that we're providing, we would greatly appreciate you hitting that like button and subscribing along the way.
Trust us, you'll feel much better as a person and a human if you do so.
So with that said, let's take a look at the financial report. There's a few things that we believe that you might find of some interest. First and foremost, the diluted earnings per share have increased by 12%. Now, for a metric that typically follows the normal's earnings per share, that's a pretty significant margin. In addition to that, you can see that their total revenues are up 7%. As a measure of health, and if you understand how the Fed works, revenue growth should exceed the base inflation rate for a company that is growing. ADP has done that, and that's huge. So 2 pages down this report, we'd also think the PEO margin is of some interest. Now they've got some word salad here I'm going to try to get through. It says margin decline reflected unfavorable actuarial loss development and workers' compensation reserves. Oh.
Say that 10 times fast.
Now they're saying that it's bad that they are losing some money on paying out people. We find this interesting, one, because that they think it's bad, and two, because the most commonly reported claim in workers' comp is carpal tunnel.
That's a fun fact just for you.
So moving on in the report, we are going to look at the 2025 fiscal outlook. Now, this company is showing growth, and in a market that has the highest level of fear and volatility in the index, that's pretty huge. This brings us to the reason why we created this video. If you go to page 9 on the PDF, you're going to notice the yield on client funds portfolio is going from 2.9% to negative 3.1%. Why does that matter? Well, as a professional employment organization, ADP holds client funds in reserve in the event that the client can't afford to run their own payroll. What do they do with the money? Well, typically they invest that money. And right now, their bean counters believe that those investments are not going to provide the same yield over the next year that they did last year. And you're going to also notice that ADP is not alone in this realm. Bank of America has posted that. We did a video on Intel that talked about it. These businesses are preparing for something.
And 6% is quite a significant swing.
They are fiscally projecting it. That's how sure of this they are. And these guys do payroll, HR, and data collection. So we believe they have a relatively good pulse on the state of the economy.
And that's why we like ADP. But we would be remiss if we didn't mention that they are trading at their 52-week high. Now, we don't usually buy stocks that are at their 52-week high. We like a beat-up stock that's on sale. But if you look at companies like ADP and Fastenal, you'll find outside of recessions and depressions, they do trade near their 52-week high.
So do you think we should buy ADP in our monthly stock pick? If so, comment below. If not, tell us what stock you would buy instead. Thank you for watching. We hope to see you in the next video. What do you think?
I got all the words in.
Okay. How do you feel those words went?
I said the things.